Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. And Aiden in the bed and is stripping off some tape just to get the visual of the car without the tape on it, with the windows in it. I'm thinking these windows would work fine. Good morning, Australia. Good morning, and welcome back. I'm thinking these windows will work fine. As we put the window up yesterday on the driver's side, we had a gap in here, and the only reason we had that gap in there is because the window would have went up further, and then that window would have got larger at the bottom and would have covered that gap. Where we have put a haircut on this car, it did not go up far enough to get to that gap. Basically, that's all that's going on there. So there would have to be a new piece of side glass made for the car. When you staying with us today as we're doing the video, it's Fun Day Sunday, and we are going to fabricate some fender skirts. And we'll talk about that here in a second, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to start making some fender skirts for it. As we go along this car, I must remember, just before I forget, Ken, the guy that we did the 33 Plymouth chop at Toronto Motorama, he's getting it welded up and getting it ground out. Looks fantastic. Great job, Ken. Great job. Awesome. They're doing a fantastic job on it. If you get a chance to go on there, throw him a like in. He's doing a good job. He had to weld it all up and continue on with the process of grinding it. So I think he's doing a fantastic job. We are done basically with the chop on this car. There's probably a few areas that have to be welded on it. This chop went very well, in my opinion. It went very well. And the reason I'm saying it went very well, because every place you see with where the bare metal showing grind, that's the places that would need filler or whatever. If you were going to fill this car, I don't know if I'm going to fill it out or not, because it's very little what is needed. But we have a piece on the door, right there. We'll want to come around the back. We got the back looking really good. If something was out of place or anything like that at all, you just go in with your hammer and your dolly and tap it out. So basically that's what's going on there, but it's all welded up nice. We got a little seam there. You could just fill it a little bit there. We got tops of the doors on this side, obviously. Exact same thing going on here. And I must give Aiden props on the window. We got the window area done. Aiden welded that in yesterday. I want to explain exactly how we did that. On this part where it flipped up like that, it rolled in a little bit and then it had a lip up. It had a lip up just like that. I took and split it there. I split this little lip was sitting on top of this. I split the lip. Then I took my hammer and I just knocked it down all the way along. And like I said to Aiden, what happened with me bending that lip down all the way along there made that twice as strong, because it stretched it and folded it down, and it made that strong, so we folded that down. You've seen us when we put the pieces in the inside, we weld the piece on the inside. Then we come over and we capped it from this edge, right on this edge. That's where we welded it, right along that edge, so we could grind it off nice. And then we welded it to the lip that we put in there. It's 14 gauge, I think, and I'm thinking we're pretty close to that. So now we have a lip. If you come over here, Jolene, you can see we've got a lip going all the way around the car now, so you can put a window in it and a rubber in it like it used to be. So basically what's going on, that's just set back an inch, probably inch and a half. That's just set back an inch and a half. Now we've got our window in there. We did not have to cut the roof in half to do it. We just modified the front post and the window opening. So it's, to me, I like this better than cutting that in half. And you have to remember, when you cut that in half, you have to weld on this side and you have to weld on that side. If I would have cut it in the back, you would have to weld it on this side and you would have to weld it on that side. All the way across. You would have had to come around here and fix all this stuff. You would have had to cut the door and lengthen the door out, because this would have been longer. You would have had to, there would have been another piece in the door. You would have had to fix this stuff. And you would have had to go all the way around and fix that stuff. Where we have done it, where the roof comes straight down and went back on the post, modifying the front window and modifying the back window, I think is where it's at for me. If you take your time to think about it, the 4-door chop would take longer than a 2-door chop, and this chop did not take all that long. It went very well. If you want to come in here, Jolene, just come in and take a look at Aiden's welding. Since, he hasn't been here for a while, he's been in school, using his brain, not his hands. But to do a good job on welding that along there like that, I was very impressed. Good job, Aiden. Appreciate it. He did a good job on the outside, and he did a good job on the inside. Inside the dash, he welded that all on there too. It's all welded continuous up in here. It's welded continuous out there, so that is very, very strong. It's not going anywheres. It's probably stronger than it ever was. So let's make some fender skirts. As I get talking about that, we're basically, the haircut is done. We've got, like I say, a little bit of welding to do, something like that right there. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do there yet. We're having ideas that we'd like to make it into a two-door sedan. Jolene has pictures on her phone. She just did a rendering herself, and she can mark it in with a pen, and she kind of just showed me what it would look like. She's going to show you what it can look like. Make it into a two-door sedan. So basically what we're thinking is that we put a piece of metal in from the front of the door. We'd run it right along this edge up here, right along the roof edge. We'd put a piece of metal that fit underneath that, come all the way around, all the way down here. Then we take and run that metal right down to the top of that body molding there. Run it right down the top of that and weld it right along the edge of that. Then you could grind it and make it look like it's a part of the molding itself. You'd have to take the hinge off. We'd have to weld this shut. We've got a nice, it's perfect distance for welding that shut. That's the way the door fit before, all the way along there. You'd have to weld that all the way along there, clean that up. I don't think there'd be nothing to it. We could put a piece of metal on there, obviously, and close that in, like Jolene's picture. And then maybe we could do something like, I remember the man that sold it to us, his name was Wayne when we first met him. He said he used to run around and put cement in the back. We could maybe write Wayne's cement on it or something, and maybe antique it so it's, or patina it so it looks like the car. I think that would be pretty cool. But like Aiden said, do you have any chopped four doors? We do, but they're not four doors anymore. We have one, the Pontiac, that we turned into the coupe. Then we have the four-door 35 Plymouth that we turned into a truck. We have a 34 Oldsmobile that we did on Badge Head Customs. We turned it into a dump truck. Any more four doors that we've changed? I have the Way to Heaven that used to be a 39 Plymouth four-door. I changed it into a two-door boat-tail coupe. So I mess with the four doors a lot. Just for the simple fact is they're more plentiful. The price is down where it's reasonable that you can play with them. And yeah, basically that's about it. They're just more reasonable and they're easier to acquire. And people generally are looking for the two doors more than they are the four doors. So let's make a set of fender skirts. Let's do that. So what I've done here, me and Aiden come out here first thing. We were here first thing this morning. We were waiting for Jolene for a little bit. She had to do her show. She was working, obviously. I had a piece of tape. What'd you do? Throw that away? All right, I'm going to do it again just for no worries. Jolene picked up my tape. She cleaned up the shop and threw the tape away, but we'll just show you exactly what's going on, what I'm showing Aiden. We're going to make a fender skirt for this. We're going to make, I guess you would call it a bubble skirt. I'm not right up on the skirts, but I'm guessing it's called the bubble skirt because the skirt is on the outside of the fender. I'm not interested in cutting the fender and making a flush mount skirt for the fender. I want to make a bubble skirt for it. Have not got one with bubble skirts on it. I have got a couple cars with flush mount skirts, so we're going to do the bubble. But the flush mount would be, it would run down flush, so the fender skirt would be flush right here like that inside. On this one we're going to run it so the fender skirt is on the outside of the fender and it bubbles out a little bit. That's what we're going to do. So what I did is I took a piece of tape. Me and Aiden up here first thing this morning talking about it. Took a piece of tape and just run it on the fender. Sort of what I want for a fender skirt. So with the fender skirt, I want it bigger than the opening of the wheel to make it look like the wheel opening's bigger than it actually is. I've taken the tape off. I'm not sure if that's what we want, the shape or not, but basically we're going for that shape. We want the fender skirt on the outside. I've got some 5/16 round rod. I'm doing a lot of talking this morning. We're gonna get to work here soon. But we gotta get 5/16 round rod, and that's gonna be run on the outside of the fender that distance. So what I did is I took the tape off and I laid it on our ramrod to get me the length that I basically want to start with. So I took that, laid it on the ramrod. We only have so much ramrod. It's Sunday fun day and you have to, so we laid it on a ramrod. So basically we cut a piece to that length because we know sort of what we're going for. As we do this, I may as well cut both pieces. If Aiden wants to get his glasses on, we get a pair of gloves. We've got these two pieces, I think we're 10 feet almost. So we want two pieces, the length of the tapes. We got two fender skirts, we got this side and the other side. So we're basically, what I'm thinking is we're gonna roll two pieces at the same time. That way there we can roll one, then we can roll the other one. We'll show you as we go. All right, Aiden, cut that off if you will. So you know when you cut this off, you hold this piece up in the air. You can mark it with the zip cut. Hold this in the air, cut this off and let that piece fall.
Let this one fall.
Right where I cut it there, it's not exactly, but it's good enough. So you hold the piece that you want, hold that in the air and let the other piece fall. Got glasses? I'm gonna get my glasses on. Perfect. Alrighty. We'll just take the flapper wheel. Just take the flapper wheel and just clean your edges off so they're not sharp. Just round it off a little bit. There's no better way of learning it than doing it. Do the other end, please. And I'll get you to do this one after that one. So, just even like when we did the chop course here, there was a couple of young guys here, and we still have to either get the young guys back or I want to get them back. Yeah, we want to get them back so we can get them using the tools. And if nothing else, if you're not chopping and figuring things out, it's basically nice just to be able to use a drill, or use a grinder, or just pull the trigger on a welder to basically get, use the tools. Basically, if you go to a course of any sort, doing metal work, paint work, anything like that at all, if you get to use your hands at all, you're learning something. You're learning how to use the tools. So we've got two pieces that are basically the same length. Now we're going to roll them so to try to get a shape that we want on the fender. We're going to do both at the same time. We've got the roller set out here. Now I got this little roller here and it's got these grooves in it and it's for ramrod. Why not just use it? So I'm just going to roll this one through, see what happens. It's going to roll a little bit obviously. Here, Eden, you might as well do it. You're younger than I am. Just roll that one through, and we'll pull that back. I'll be your brake or your yeah. Didn't roll it that much, but it's a start. Aiden's young; he can handle it. I got a saying for that, but we won't use it today. A second. Good. And we got a little bit of roll in it. I'm going to wind her up just a little bit more. Let's get it back in there, like get it so the rolls in the exact same way we Aiden, and stick it back in there and do it again. You know what I mean?
So it's the bends this way?
You see how, just take a look down it. See how it's bent, which way it's bent. You wouldn't want to put it in this way.
No, that is.
You want to put it in so it's rolling again. So put it in so it's rolling again in the right direction. Yeah, stick it in there. Go for it. This second, let's get the roll straight. There you go, go for it. Yep. Go for it. We probably could, you don't need this, but I'm just hoping that we can get two rolled exactly the same is what I want for the fender skirt. Grab the other one. Yep, roll her through. We're just trying to get the roll going around the fender to the back. I'll share with you. How's that?
Fair.
Fair, he says? Fair?
Fair.
Right. He's got the pencil wrist, not the... All
Not
right.
the metal working yet.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to do it a little bit more. All right, I'm going to do it this time. You're going to put your foot behind that wheel. The only reason you're putting your foot behind that wheel because I haven't got the brake on. All right, I'm going to roll one through. You know what they say, I'm just big, fat, and tough. And if it goes crooked at all on us, we can straighten it. Let's grab the other piece on the floor there. We'll do that one. It's going to get the roll so it's going up. Alrighty, just turn that up, Aiden. A couple turns. Alrighty. Just gonna roll that out for a second. Nope, just gonna keep rolling it through. Not bad. We could just roll that front. And then we'd have something. Would we not if we kept this like this and then rolled the front down? We might be golden. See what happens. And I'm not sure, like this fender skirt can be made any shape that you want it. Like remember that, as I'm making this, you remember that you can make your fender skirt any shape that you want. That thing whistling at me or what? Alrighty, let's go to the other side. We got two that are the same because we rolled them in the same. Alrighty. See, we're a little bit twisted here. And I'm twisted sometimes too. Hold that even on that end. I'm just going to twist it. You got both hands on it?
Yep.
All right. I'll go down there, hold on the back there. So if I want this fender skirt, I'm just going to take it and bend it a little bit. Very, I don't want to say easy thing to manipulate, but see that roller? Paid nothing for it. It was given to me. All right, we're gonna do a little bit more. Go back some. I sort of don't mind that. You're all the way down? I don't mind that. It's kind of a big skirt. Alrighty. I want to bend it a little bit. And the reason being is you're not tight up on your end of your thing, and I'm not tight there. So let's just turn it over. Let's twist it a little bit. You hold yours and I'll see if you can hold it down here. And I'm gonna twist it. No problem, eh? If you were here, you know what I put in? Vice.
Ah, okay. I just put slap in there.
Seeing where you're here, I'm gonna use you up. All right? Okay. Not a bad looking fender skirt. We got a nice roll on it, so it's rolling nice. It's a big fender skirt, but it's our fender skirt. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my finger right there. That needs a little bend there to go down in there and fit that nice, doesn't it? Let's go bend it. Show you how I bend that. Guess.
Bang it on the ground?
This little piece of wood. It's got that hollowed place, right?
Yeah.
Just put that there. Put my finger on where it got to go. Now when I hit that, what's going to happen? It's going to bend right there. That. Right?
That'll work. What?
Piece of piss, eh? Piece of piss. More of that side.
That worked, you? Wow.
You love me, Aiden?
Did a fine job.
Thank you. All right, so we're basically where I think we want to be. Now we're going to take a marker. Get off. We can wipe the marker off after. Just use a little bit of thinner. All right. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to knock this piece, we're going to knock this fender skirt and tack it on to the fender. No harm, no foul. We've got rust going on there now, but we're just going to clean a couple places up. I'm not even sure if we have to do that. We probably could just weld it on with the blue paint on there. That's maybe what we'll do. I'm not sure. Probably best if I knocked off a couple pieces. Nope, we'll just weld it on there. We'll leave the paint on there and we'll do that. So we're going to knock that piece of ramrod on the side of that fender. That's the shape of the fender skirt that we're going with. I think that's good enough. Aiden, I'm going to get you to get the welder started, turn the gas on, get your helmet, and get geared up. I will get a pair of C-clamps. Just going to clamp it to the fender, or get some C-clamps. I don't know sure if we're going to use them or not, but we'll well, once I have one made, and then I can bend the other one exactly the same. I got the exact same roll, so what I'll do is I'll end up taking that fender skirt off, and then we'll bend. Jolene's asked me, shouldn't I bend the other one up? And I can, but what I've done is I've got the fender at the same, we rounded it the same on the roller. We're gonna pluck this one on, we're gonna make the shape that we want, then we'll actually apply the metal to the face of it. We'll tack it on, and then what we can, once we get it done, we can just pull the fender skirt off. We've got our metal, or a piece of ramrod on this side. We've got it to the shape that we think that we need it. Then we'll just take the fender skirt and lay it down, then we'll match that up to the fender skirt that we've already made. So we'll do one fender skirt at a time. You've got your helmet on. Let's pluck this on. What I'm gonna say is, Aiden, I want you to start the welder on, I threw that glove away somewhere, didn't I? What's that? Start your welder on the ramrod.
Okay.
in that way there, and we just want a little tack. Start your welder on the ramrod. Then it probably should burn the paint
Just through.
and just set it on there. So I'm going to pluck. Let's just set it on there. We got a line to go by. Let's just step one right down here. Start it on the ramrod and go to the paint. Oh, we got a ground. Let's stick it right on the ramrod itself. Perfect. Just a second now. Just want to make sure I got enough to come down. Go for it. You have to get rid of that wire. Sticking, you think? Not sure?
Might just work.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do another one. Yep. You're stuck. Let's do one here. Think it's stuck?
I think so.
Yep. Good job. Let's do one here. Just a second. I'm going to take a zip cut and knock a good one off. Just knock a little bit of paint off. Don't want to knock any paint off. You know what I'm trying to say. I like to keep as much of the original paint on as possible. Good. Yeah. So,
Ready?
yep.
Watch your eyes.
Good. Yeah. Knock it on anywhere you want. That one stick? Nope.
Wow.
Bet you stuck that time. You made sure of that, didn't you? All right, let's put that on there. Probably been best if I did clean it off, but you see how we got that fitting good there now? Just a little bend on the, put one in there and we'll put one on the end. Probably should have cleaned it off.
That's all right. Should work.
Good. Alrighty, now we've got that's the shape of our fender skirt that we're going with. We're building bubble skirts. And we're just holding that on there because that's the way we're doing it. All right, we have 2 pieces left over from the ramrod that we had. I'm hoping that was long enough. All right, you pull that ground off there, Aiden. On this fender skirt that we're doing, we'll have to touch that up with a little blue paint and it'll be nice, and we got a nice fit going on there. Fitting nice and tight and right. Just like that, nothing to it. Nothing to it. Just gonna work my hand up here in the middle a little bit, get a little shape on the end. Got quite a shape going on there. I think they're called bubble skirts for a reason. I'm not sure if that's the reason. Probably they bubble out a little bit. Got a little bit of a thing going on there. See that, Aiden?
A little bit of curve.
Yep, well, quite a bit of curve. Now we're gonna go from here to there. So you want to hold that in there. You want to hold that just a second. Lift that off for a second. Just want to see where I'm going. You just want to hold that in there like that. I'm going to just hold that there like that on that end, and I'm going to mark this in. There's that wagging tail of the glove. We're going to cut this off.
So you're using the car as a block.
Yes, Jolene is talking to me. It's too bad she didn't have a mic on. Aiden has a mic on. Jolene is saying you're using the car as a buck, and yes, I am. I feel there's no harm, no foul with tacking that to that, and you probably would if you were making fender skirts anyways, but you would have the car stripped down and you'd be repainting things. Obviously, if you're making a set of fender skirts to fit a car, which we are making a set of fender skirts to fit the car, but we are going to leave the patina, but we're wanting a set of fender skirts to put on it. So, like Jolene said, I'm using the fender as a buck to build what we need. And you would have to do that anyways, generally, to make your fender skirts. Now, this is probably, this is the way I thought about making a set of fender skirts for the car. The simplest and fastest way. This is probably not the way that everybody traditionally makes fender skirts. And I will say, neither was chopping the roof traditional way of doing it. Generally, they cut the roof in half and you move the roof ahead to fit the posts that are already there. You cut the back in half to fit the back that's already there. You put a piece in here because you've lengthened it out. You put a piece in the front because you've lengthened it out for the front post. Well, I come up in my brain that I just wanted to do it this way, chop the post back down, modify the front. And I'm very happy with it. So there's more than one way always to skin the cat. It's just which way do you want to do it? And I suggest that you do it the way you want to do it to make yourself happy. Now, I've got a little bit of length going on here that I do not want. I'm going to cut it off a little bit more. So, what I'm thinking is we'll make the fender skirt right to the bottom of the fender, and then we'll add a tab on the round rod going in so I can bolt it to the bottom of the fender. Do the exact same thing to the front. We'll just continue on. You want to put your ground on, Aiden, just throw it on the, oh, it should be ground to the car now. We're welded to the car. If you want to weld that on there, I might have cut that off. No. So you want to make the second one. Take a look at this. I want the round part out. We're doing a bubble skirt thing. So you want to make sure when you weld that it's flush with the bottom of the fender. This piece of round rod. So you're going to leave that up to you, if you know what I'm trying to tell you.
You're gonna run against it.
Yeah, exactly. And you want it flush with the bottom. What I mean by flush is you want the bottom of the round rod flush with the bottom of the fender. So when I weld a tab on this, it goes underneath the fender.
Okay.
You don't want it up like this.
Because then the tab will
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to, because you wouldn't be able to weld a tab on to go underneath the fender. You want it flush with the bottom of the fender. And we want the bubble or the bend going out. So if you're happy with that.
Happy with that.
Now you want the round rod flush with the outside of the round rod that we have on there. So there's two flushes going on. You good? If you're good, weld it. Or tack it, whatever you want to. Weld it on? Good. You can tack it again if you like.
Yes.
Tack it up in here.
Up higher?
No, just tack it in there so you can get a fresh start. Just a second. No, you're good. Sorry. Sorry. What I'm thinking is I just want to see. Yeah, see, I've got an issue already. Now, I didn't get the roundness down where I wanted it, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. So, I'm going to stand back here. You're going to do that again. What happened is I had it going like this, but I had it tucked up a little bit, so the roundness is not, you know what I mean? It's not straight all the way along. It's up a little bit. I want the roundness turned down a little bit, if you know what I'm trying to. So hold it flush with your hand again. I get in position, and then I'll let you know when to weld it. I'm happy with that if you want to flush it, if you want to weld it. Whenever you're flushed out. I've got the curvature of the ramrod turning down a little bit.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Weld it again in a different spot. That's fine. Come to me. Come to me, Aiden, come to me. All right, you're gonna weld it right on the face of it, which should be good. And I got it just below the fender, so I can run it. Go for it. Second, right there.
I'll try and read it.
Ready? Yep. Hold on. Yep. Awesome. Now, what I'm saying is, I can weld a piece of flat bar underneath there, and I can bolt to the bottom of the fenders. Also, I've got this shape, and I've got it turned down a little bit.
So it's kind of going.
So we're going around. We're going like this, and we're also going like this. Okay. So if we turn it, if we had that shape turned up, when you looked at it from the side angle, your fender skirt would look like that.
Okay. So, out.
Yeah, so we want a little shape coming down, like coming down and around. So that's, if you want to come take a look at it, you take a look at it. See how that's turned down a bit?
Yeah, just on an angle.
And it's out a little bit.
Gotcha.
All right, I want you to turn that welder, we'll turn that welder back on. I got that in just a hair. Let's tack this on just a little bit better. Let's get not in the same spot, obviously, because the same spot's not gonna work for me. Or it's not gonna work for you, it'll fall off. So tack it in a different spot, and that way there you got two spots holding it on. If he tacked it right on top of where he already tacked it, it will melt it and it'll fall off. So tack it in a different spot. So weld it together as far as that goes. Got it welded together good. All right, go up the front, hit the front one, and get that one welded on good. You might as well just get it welded on in the front. Like, you know, you might as well weld it in there and weld it, finish that centerpiece, and maybe one on the bottom. So it's not, because it's not going anywhere now. We want it right where it's at. Should hold it. You can do the back the exact same, just might as well finish that, or do a couple more welds on it. Door handle up there. Got it? Yep. All right. Get a little bit of a thing going on there, that's fine. Alrighty, we are going to weld. So this is my plan. So this is all just right out of my head what I'm doing here, making this fender skirt. You can shut that off for a sec. So when we're ready, we'll weld a piece of flat stock underneath here, and then we can bolt it to the bottom of the fender, put a little hole in it and bolt it there. We'll put a little flat stock underneath here. We can bolt that underneath here. That'll be fine. That'll hold it here. But now, when it comes up here, there's nothing holding it. So this is what I'm planning on doing. We're going to run a piece of round stock from here to there. I'll just start cutting, and Aiden's going to do the welding. And it doesn't matter where the round stock is run. It's just where I'm going to put it to make myself satisfied. One, we can go 1, 2, should probably, we'll do 3 to keep it in place. We'll do the center first. I'll just do the center. Aiden's gonna weld that. I'm just gonna knock the edge off that. See that's out a little bit there?
Yeah, it's got the kind of
Flapper wheel. All that would do is mess this up when we go to put the sheet metal on. I could grind it off after, I suppose. Just going with the center of the wheel, not measuring anything, just going with the center of the hubcap. Actually, I'm going to move back some because it's not going to fit there. Does not matter. All right, I'm going to get you to weld the bottom. Just tack it on that side. I'm just going to stand back and take a look at it, see if it's straight. We'll just do the exact same thing on the other side. We'll make sure that the rod's on the back side of the round part. Does that make sense, Aiden? Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not measuring anything, so we may as well try to make it the same on both sides. Let's weld that there. Just on the corner. Yep. So, I'm gonna stand back, take a look for a second. All right, well now what I want you to do is I want you to weld it on that side, weld it on that side, weld it in the middle, then weld it in the middle, in that process. If you know what I'm trying to tell you.
Gotcha.
And then weld across the front. Your Subaru would look good with fender skirts. All right, so we got our piece. Any kind of weld that we need to do on the back side can be done when the fender skirt comes off. Let's do another piece. So that piece there, we have another piece. No, we've got another piece around. We're just trying to figure out the stock we got here. I'm going to run one here. All right, run around just tack it down the bottom here. See if we got it somewhat straight before we weld it. Just tack it there. Just gonna go back and see if it's straight. Man, that looks good. All right, let's weld the top. Just weld it in there wherever you can. All right, you know the process after that. Well, that side, and then the front. Hubcaps are old hubcaps, just mock-up hubcaps, not really worried about them. Alrighty, let's do another one. Sure to give the same distance somewhat that's going on here, just to make it look good. And the reason, if it's not exactly, it does not matter to me, and I'll tell you why. Because if you see the back side of the fender skirt, when we're driving down the road, you're inside there on the wheel, and you're probably not going to matter much if you're in there, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. So we're just going to go here. Okay, snap that one on there. Actually, I'm going to bend that a little bit. Fender is making me want to bend that a little bit because the fenders. See how the fenders is hitting there and not.
Oh, okay, the center before it gets to the top.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And we're building the fender, or the fender skit, to fit. To fit, are we not? That's why I'm bending it. We're building the fender skirt to fit the fender. All right, let's weld the top. Oh, we missed it. Better? Now I'm going to go back. See if it looks straight. Good to me. I don't really want to hold my fingers on that, but I guess I will. Weld it on this round rod first and then connect it to that.
Bottom first.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh. Let's do the top again. Let's just weld that. You good at that time, brother. You good at that time. Just a second, I want to stand back and take a look. Fantastic. Weld that. Bet you that one stayed.
No messing around this time.
Alrighty. So, we got something going on there that I'm good with. Let's weld this side, that side, and then the front. Please and thank you. So that means that this side of the fender skirt is welded. We can buff it off after, and then we can weld up the back side after the fender skirt comes off. Alrighty. So fender skirt's on. So I told you we're going to put a piece of metal underneath here. We're going to bolt to the bottom of the fender. We're going to bolt the bottom of the fender here. These pieces here are run up here for structure, and also we are going to. Now we're going to make a little hook. A hook that welds on this one, it goes up around the fender there. A hook that goes up around here and welds the fender on here. A little hook that goes on here and puts the fender on here. That way there, when we unbolt it, it'll just fall down off. When we go to put the fender skirt on, this hook is going to go on the back side of that fender. This hook is going to go on the back side of that fender. This hook is going to go on the back side of that fender. And there's no way that you can pull that off because it's got a hook on it. Like, so we're just going to make a hook. We're going to make a hook. I'm going to maybe do it in the vise. Let's do it in the vise, probably the easiest. Excuse me, sweetheart. Got quite a mess going on in here, but I guess that means something's getting done. I'd like to have something round to put it around, but you know how we can finish that? With a hammer. So we just bent that around there. Ah. Hit my thumb. I'd be some mad, wouldn't I, Aiden?
Oh, you jumping for joy.
Mad, disgusting, couldn't be trusted. See the hook on the fender? See how we got that? Come here if you want to take a look, baby. See how the hook's on there? On like that? She says. So we're going to take and cut the hook off. Not sure where I want to cut it off yet, but Thank you, Aiden. I'm thinking that we want the fender skirt fit where we've got it. Cut just a little bit more off, actually. Get your welder ready, Aiden. Weld it on your side, and you can come weld it on this side. Got it?
Yep.
Come weld it on this side. Missed it. I'll probably get out of your way, it'd be better, but I'll make a better welder out of you. Now we're hard up against that lip, so Aiden can come down here and put a nicer spot on that. Come on my side. Put a nicer spot. Don't hit it where you already hit it.
Nope.
Hit it where you've...
Go underneath.
I'm gonna go bend another hook. That's short to bend a hook. Fill it.
Fill it in.
Put that little hole there.
Yeah.
And get it underneath there too. You might as well just weld it where you can. Vice is broke. Running. Look all right, Aiden?
Yeah, so.
Good. Stop it. So that should come straight down. When we unbolt it, it comes straight down and straight up. I'm hoping, well, what I'm hoping is the hook holds the fender skirt tight to the fender, and I'm hoping that the bolts, that bolting underneath, hold it up. There's no way to pull it off because you'd have to pull the hook out. Second. And we're hooked up there quite a ways, so it should be good. either side. Now, if I feel like the hook is not, go on the other side and weld it. If I feel like the hook is not holding it tight enough, when I pull the fender skirt off, I just bend that hook in a little bit. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to weld that on up a little bit further and underneath so the hook is on. So what I'm saying is, that hook didn't go on that straight, did it? Ah! I didn't like it. It's not straight. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't matter, but it does. I'm going to cut that.
Gotcha.
Yep. What happened is the hook turned this way. I want it up straight. Oh, here we go. Weld it back on, Aiden. Just broke it off. That's fine. I wanted it straight. I had it on an angle like that. I want it up straight like that. Yeah, now weld it. Yep. Get one in your glove.
Yep. That's all right.
It won't hurt you. Look at that. Can't tell if I got it crooked. I guess it really don't matter, you know what I mean? There we go. Now weld it on that side. Make another hook. And you might as well weld it on so it stays on. So give her a shot on her, up a little tighter and underneath there. It's on there nice and tight.
Sweet.
Hit my thumb. I'm scared. Stop it. Hey, make it out, Aiden.
Food.
This off. You can see how the fender sucked in there a little bit. Does not matter. We'll put the hook on the outside of, so it goes like that. If you know what I'm trying to get at. Because we want it. Tighten that up a little bit. It could pull, actually could pull that fender out. Well, see, I'm thinking that if I, to me, it does not matter how the fender fits underneath it. It matters how the fender skirt fits. So, I'm gonna beat that a little bit tighter. Try not to hit my fingies. Think it's gonna work, Aiden?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, he says.
Going well so far.
We'll see, won't we? I'll just bring this to the other side. We will see. And I will not take the fender skirt off. All right, Aiden. It's on there tight. Weld it right there, bye. Right on the face. Right there, it's between the two. Weld down there. I got that tight against the fender. Because the fenders are obviously bent up a little bit. Alrighty, that's up tight against that. Like I've held it tight against the fender. So when it comes time to, we'll weld our little tab on here. When it comes time to unbolt this and unbolt this, these tabs are fitting tight on the fender, so it's going to suck this part in tight. That's what I'm thinking, or that's what I'm hoping. We got it welded there. That's where we're at. So basically, I'll get Aiden to finish welding that off, just one spot at a time, so it stays there. We'll go along and make sure that everything's tacked really good, like up in here. I think we're good enough till we get to the back side. But now, what we're ready for is a piece of, or a sheet of metal. And what we would do is we would get the shape with a piece of Bristol board, and then we would cut that shape and put it on there. What happened is I messed up yesterday, not thinking that it's Sunday today, Sunday fun day, that we can't get metal. It's Sunday. But what's going to happen is once we get a piece of cardboard, Bristol board, we'll make that shape. You come back tomorrow, basically what should happen, you come back tomorrow and I will finish the fender skirt for what it's going to look like. That's the shape of the fender skirt that we have. That's the shape that it's going to be, and we will sheathe it tomorrow. I got a little bit going on here that I'm not, it's all right, it's all good. So what happened is we're making a set of bubble skirts. This is the way I'm making it. You make them the way you want to make them, but for me, this is going to work for me, I'm thinking. And yeah, thanks Aiden, appreciate it. So what we'll do is we'll just continue on. We can bend the other shape, we can bring it over here and mock that shape and then apply it to the other side. And then we can go from there. Thanks everybody for coming back, we appreciate it. I'm forgetting something. I'm supposed to, somebody contacted me.
Oh, no, you're supposed to give a shout out to John, Tim's partner.
Oh, yeah, right on. We had Tim here yesterday, and we had Jackie here, which is Jolene's mother, and John, his partner, has just had a hip replacement, and we were talking about you yesterday, John. We were just talking about you because that's what happens when people are not around. They kind of talk about them. They're saying that you're doing really well, that you're up walking after a couple of days after having a hip replacement. We want to wish you the best of luck. Tim is probably missing you as a partner, no doubt in my mind. And get well and keep on watching, man. We'll be here tomorrow. Just tune in and we'll be here. But thanks everybody for coming back. All the great comments and all that sort of stuff. We thank you. We've got to thank Aiden. He did an awesome job on that window post there. I'm $20,000 up. I raised him 10. We're making money, man. Like, comment, share. Come back tomorrow and we'll be here.